How's that clap?
Why is this massive camera crew here?
Well, we had to come to Willow Springs for one simple thing. Just like every other car people in the world, we were talking to the guys at Fast Toys Club. One day we were there at their shop, and we were arguing, I think the LT is faster than the 488. And they were like, no way, the 488 is a new car, it's the fastest car. And of course it was 2 against 1. Then Farshad goes, no, the Huracan is the fastest. And then Leon out of nowhere goes, the Corvette is the fastest. We were arguing and arguing and arguing until one of the Fast Toys Club guys, which are the smart people in the group, were like, why don't we just go to the track? We have all of the cars, so we might as well take them to the track and film it, right? So that made a lot of sense to me. What do you think, Pedro?
I think it was a great idea.
Was that the right move?
It is, because now I finally get to win one of these bets.
You're never gonna win this. And you know what? I'm not even gonna get into that. But before that, let's just say and acknowledge that none of this could be possible without Fast Toys Club. This is not a paid sponsorship. This is none of that. Legitimately, these guys put this together because this is what they do. So aside from renting cars like every other car rental company, what they do is they do monthly memberships. So you can have a fleet of cars at your service for a certain amount of money a month. That's what separates them from everyone else. Did we invite those guys here?
I don't even think they're here, by the way.
No, we did. Hang on a second. Let me go get them. Farshad, you ready? You go in and ambush them. Go on. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt your lunch, but we were outside and we were introducing everyone. Chris, I'm sorry. Let me introduce everyone real quick. This is Leon from Fast Toys Club. This is Chris from Fast Toys Club. And these are the gentlemen that are making all of this happen and possible. What car do we think is gonna win?
488 would be the winner, but very close with the 675 LT. And then the Huracan is pretty fast, but the Z06 is also fast. So still a Huracan first. I mean, third. And then the Z06.
Leon, what about you?
Here's what's gonna happen. The Corvette's gonna rule the roost. So Corvette, 675 LT, 488 Huracan.
Okay. Farghini?
I think the Lamborghini is number 1, LT number 2, Corvette 3, and 488 last.
And are you saying that because the Ferrari will come in last or it will not make it all the way to the end? I'm dead serious.
488, let's come on.
Don't worry about it, Pedro. What about yours, Pedro?
488 number 1. I've been saying this since we talked about it at Fast Toys Club. 488 number 1, then LT number 2, Huracan number 3, and Z06 number 4.
Here you go. This is how it's gonna end, actually, guys. LT number 1, 488 number 2 if it finishes. Let's be fair. The Corvette's gonna do number 3, I think. And to me, the 4th one's gonna be the Huracan because there's no aero, not enough aero in that car. All right, I'm gonna go kick your asses.
Hey, speaking of, let me get the track.
Nothing but a great pleasure to present our only American car in today's challenge. We're of course talking about the Corvette Z06, one of America's fastest mass production cars to date. You guys see me wearing my helmet, you guys see me on the track, you know what that means. Ooh, Alejandro's gonna scream a lot into the microphone. That's basically all that means. Let's go! And the first car that we're gonna test out is the Corvette Z06. This is a great car for the street. This is a great car for the track. Yes, this one is an automatic. There's no question about the manual anymore being faster than the automatic. This is a faster car anywhere and however you want to test it. Also, let's face it, this car right here is already winning at life by being on the circuit because it is the cheapest car by a lot. It's 4 times cheaper than an LT. The reason why it's the underdog of the fight is simple. It's an American car, it's the cheapest car, it has a lot of plastic bits. This car has 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, so it's not missing any power out of that humongous 6.2-liter V8 supercharged motor that propels the car from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. So you're not lacking power. Also, aero. Aero plays a humongous part on this track. You have long straights, a long sweeper, you have high speed all over this track. So the more the car can be on the ground, the better it'll handle. Now that I'm driving this, I can see how Leon's making a pretty good point. Also, placing the car, it's very easy once you have it in sport track mode. You can feel every single corner. Altogether, it's an incredible track experience. Do I think it's gonna win? No, but I think it's gonna do better than I originally thought because I had only driven this on the street. So American cars are getting there. This Corvette is a weapon, a proper weapon, and a great deal.
You're gonna smell it, see? Ferrari.
For today's event, we wanted to level the playing field as much as possible, so we're putting all of the cars on the same tires. So we decided to put Pirelli Trofeo Rs on every single car except on the Corvette, because they just don't make the tire for that car. So we had to go with the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2, which is the most similar tire that you'll find to compete in that level. We're gonna lap around the track 5 times. The fastest time, that's the time that we're gonna count. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our incredibly talented race car driver, Mr. Tristan Vautier.
Tristan Vautier, a perfect race weekend.
Another lap just being started by Tristan Vautier.
There is it, leader Tristan Vautier.
Vautier has had such a flawless race today.
A great start from the Mercedes, Tristan Vautier.
So Tristan Vautier.
Tristan Vautier.
Tristan Vautier. Right, there's Tristan Vautier.
Brian, this young man is impressive. Very talented young French driver.
That's good. It's a lot of torque, eh?
Do you feel like you got the best out of the car?
Yeah, I pushed like hell.
This was the perfect way to start our challenge. The Corvette sets up our first lap time at 1:28.40. Straight out of Bologna, we have the fastest Lamborghini we've ever driven on a test track so far, the Lamborghini Huracan. And on to the Lamborghini Huracan. Mind you guys, Lamborghini is not a car that I would have thought that long ago to start testing on the track because of performance. Lamborghini recently has gotten into performance and they've been hitting it out of the park. Apparently they have the version of this, the racetrack version of this, called the Performante, and that thing is supposed to be unbeatable around any track in the world. With Lamborghini putting focus on that, being this the predecessor of that car, it should be actually pretty good. And on paper, it looks incredibly good. It's a 5.2-liter V10 engine that produces 610 horsepower. It's the one with the least amount of horsepower out of every single car that's here. Yeah, coming from a Lamborghini, that's weird, I know. But that's just enough to get this car from 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. Don't be fooled by this car. Even though it doesn't have all the air and all that, the acceleration that comes from it is absolutely bonkers. You have to be ready for whatever's coming so you can adjust if you fuck up, which as you guys know, I'm the king of fuck up, so.
it's cool, man. Like the car is perfectly balanced. And with the four-wheel drive, it's funny because obviously we turn everything off, right? ESP, traction control. But with the four-wheel drive, it kind of feels like the ESP is still on. So when you have a little bit of a slide, it catches it for you. It's just easy to drive, man. Great car.
Wow, the Huracan just smoked the Corvette with a ridiculous 126.54, making it not only the car to beat, but a clear contender for the top. Now from Italy, let's take things over to the UK, which is the birthplace for our next contender. I'm talking about, of course, the McLaren 675 LT. All right, here we go, the McLaren 675 LT. And the reason why I picked the LT is actually very simple. I own one of these cars, and I know, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that I've spent the most time in one of these out of the other cars, and I know for a fact what it can do. The only one that I haven't driven on the track is the 488, but there's no way that car will be like this after driving it on the street. I mean, McLaren is really more of a newer company, right? I don't think McLaren ever mass-produced cars, so I think this is the first time they've ever done that. This is my personal opinion. I think McLaren is taking away that title from Ferrari as to building race cars. And McLaren is following a very simple formula for these cars. They're going with efficiently small engines, 3.8-liter V8 engines. And this one produces 666 horsepower. That propels this car from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. It also cuts off the torque right off the bat on first gear, simply so that there's not enough tire spin because of all the power. The car is super light and very rigid. All of that formula combined makes for an incredible car on the track. And this is surprisingly one of the most comfortable cars on the street too. It's insane how fast it is on the track. It's insane how good it is at steering. It's great at braking. I mean, you can point this car like no other car. It's so easy. I mean, you know exactly where you are at all times in this f***ing beast. It gives you the confidence of the world. It gives you all the right noises. It feels like a proper race car. It's nervous. It vibrates a lot. It's very visceral, even though it's a twin turbo engine. It's really hard to explain. You have to live it to understand it. You have to experience it. Pretty much like anything in life, kids. Are you
Hey,
set? Tristan? And just like that, the LT claims the throne once again. Or will it? I bet you Ferrari has something else to say. This car is the originator of the question, will it be faster? So like in the least biased world possible, let's let the Ferrari do all the talking. All right, almost lost control of the Ferrari 488 GTB right off the bat. This car is a more toned down 458 with more aero, right? And what do I mean by toned down? I don't mean slower. I just mean it doesn't sound as loud. It's not as informal, if you will. The 458 felt like a machine. It wanted to go. It screams. This is more civilized, if you will. But on the track, it feels crazy, crazy fast. It has a lot more push than the 458. And that is because this 3.9 liter V8 twin-turbo engine that Ferrari put in this car that produces 670 horsepower. This is the car with the most horsepower out of the whole competition. And it's nuts. It pushes. That pushes the car from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, or a little bit under 3 seconds. That's plenty fast to compete with the LT. Before driving this car, I thought there's no way that Ferrari could have a shot at it. But now driving it, I realize that this is going to be a pretty close race between the LT and the 488. Let's face it, Ferrari has been and will always be the granddaddy, the originator of all supercar companies. Ferrari is the original car that we all wanted to get the moment we got some money. You always go, I want a Ferrari. Even Ferruccio Lamborghini went to Ferrari to get a car, and then when he got basically the Salomon VIP experience, then he opened his own company and said, you're never gonna tell me that I can never buy your car. Out of all the cars in the competition, Ferrari has the most racing heritage and history of all of them. But lately, Ferrari's been cooling down. These cars are now known more as gentleman cars. So Pedro's an elegant bastard. This is what elegant people drive, Ferraris. I totally understand why. It's more than just the polos, it's more than just the sweaters across the neck. There's so much heritage that comes with these cars or attached to these cars. Look at this. Look how fast it is and how wild it sounds when you're inside of it. Ah! And it's official. The McLaren 675 LT is still the big daddy in this sector. Oh, the taste of sweet victory goes back to McLaren. It's astonishing how a car that's already 2 years old is faster than the newest Ferrari, even if that's not the hardcore version of it. If there were any doubts that McLaren is the new king of the castle, I think they're gone. At least for now. Today was awesome. It was filled with excitement, surprises, some ups, some downs. But most importantly, we went back to basics. Back to finding out the answers for ourselves. This is why I love the Fast Toys Club guys. We got into a little car guy argument with them, and then they just decided to settle the whole thing in front of the world for every car guy to watch and enjoy. Oh, and we also got some juicy content for all of you, courtesy of the Fast Toys Club guys. So with that said, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoy. See you next time.